The strange signal came at 3:47 a.m. on a Tuesday. Dr. Alan Murphy rubbed his tired eyes and stared at the computer screen. For 5 years, he had searched the stars for signs of alien life. Now his coffee grew cold as he watched the pattern repeat itself, too perfect, too regular to be natural. "This is it," he whispered, reaching for the red phone that would change human history forever. Within 24 hours, the United Nations Space Command assembled in their underground New York headquarters. Military leaders and scientists gathered around a large oval table as Dr. Murphy explained his discovery. "The signal contains mathematical sequences and what appears to be an invitation," he said, pointing to the projection on the wall. "They want to meet us." General Harris frowned. "And if it's a trap?" "Then we're prepared," said Captain Olivia Hayes, stepping forward. At 35, Hayes had the highest combat and diplomatic ratings in the USC. Her short brown hair framed a face that showed both intelligence and determination. "But we can't ignore the first confirmed contact with an alien civilization." 3 weeks later, Captain Hayes stood on the bridge of the USV Horizon, Earth's most advanced starship. Beside her was Dr. Murphy and a team of 12 specialists, diplomats, scientists, and security personnel. "Approaching coordinates," said pilot Eric Martinez, dropping out of FTL in 3, 2, 1. The stars reappeared as the horizon slowed. Before them floated a massive space station, shaped like a wheel with spokes leading to a central hub. Ships of various designs moved around it like bees around a hive. "It's beautiful," said Dr. Kelly Johnson, the team's cynobiologist. A voice came through their communication system, speaking perfect English. "Welcome, humans of Earth. Please proceed to docking bay 17. The Council awaits you." Hayes felt a chill run down her spine. They already knew English. How long had they been watching? The Horizon docked smoothly. Hayes led her team through the airlock, where they were met by a tall, slender being with blue-tinted skin and large almond-shaped eyes. "I am Zin Terra of the Zintheri," the alien said with a slight bow. "I will guide you to the chamber of introduction." As they walked through the station's wide corridors, Hayes noticed dozens of different alien species. Some nodded respectfully. Others stared with obvious curiosity or whispered to companions while pointing at the humans. Zin Terra explained as they walked. "The Galactic Council includes 27 species from across this sector of the galaxy. We have maintained peace for over 2,000 years. And now Earth is invited to join," Hayes asked. The alien's expression showed something like amusement. "In time, perhaps. For now, you are classified as a developing species. You will be granted observer status and limited trading rights." Hayes felt her jaw tighten, but maintained her diplomatic smile. The chamber of introduction was a vast hall with tiered seating. Representatives from all 27 species watched as the humans entered. At the center was a raised platform with 7 seats, the High Counselors. "The humans of Earth," announced a deep voice. Hayes stepped forward. "On behalf of Earth, we are honored to join this gathering of civilizations." A muscular reptilian being leaned forward. His scales were dark red, and his yellow eyes narrowed as he spoke. "I am High Counselor Drav of the Vordax. Let us be clear, you are not joining as equals. Your species has only recently discovered faster-than-light travel. You have much to learn before earning full membership." "We're quick learners," Hayes replied, meeting his gaze. For the next several hours, the Council explained their rules and restrictions. Humans could trade only with approved species. Certain technologies were classified and forbidden. Earth's territory was limited to their solar system. As they returned to the horizon, Dr. Murphy whispered, "They're treating us like children." Hayes nodded slowly. "Yes, and like all children, they expect us to obey without question." She looked back at the massive station. "But I think they're underestimating us." What no one at the meeting knew was that humanity's greatest strength had always been proving others wrong. 6 months after first contact, Dr. Noah Garcia sat alone in his lab at midnight. Rain drummed against the windows of the Boston Research Institute. His eyes burned from staring at the meteorite fragment for hours. The small, dark chunk of rock had crashed in northern Canada 3 weeks ago, and something about it wasn't right. "This can't be correct," he muttered, running the test for the 5th time. The fragment absorbed all energy directed at it but never heated up. When placed under extreme pressure, instead of breaking, it grew stronger. It defied every law of physics Noah had studied in his 15 years as a materials scientist. The phone on his desk rang, startling him. "Dr. Garcia, this is Captain Hayes. Your findings have been flagged. I'm coming to see you." 2 hours later, Captain Olivia Hayes stood in his lab, examining the meteorite fragment. "We've seen this before," she said quietly. "The Council calls it cerevium. They classify it as Class 5 restricted. Earth isn't supposed to have access to it." Noah frowned. "What does that mean?" "It means," Hayes said, "that if they find out we have it, there will be serious consequences. The Council strictly forbids using this material for weapons or armor." Noah shook his head. "But this could revolutionize our technology. The energy absorption alone could solve our power problems." Hayes nodded slowly. "I know. That's why I'm not reporting it." She looked around the lab. "I'm assigning an engineer to work with you. Her name is Samantha Wells. Together, you'll study this material in secret." 3 days later, Samantha Wells arrived. She was tall with curly red hair and a no-nonsense attitude. Within a week, she and Noah had built special equipment to test the material, which they nicknamed Impossibilium. "Try the brain scanner again," Samantha suggested one evening after a month of work. Noah attached the neural monitor to his head while holding the fragment. The computer screen showed unusual activity in his brain. "Your brain waves are synchronizing with the material's energy field," Samantha said, eyes wide. "That's not supposed to happen." They tested the fragment with 5 other researchers. Each showed the same pattern. When humans concentrated on the material, it responded to their thoughts. "The Council files don't mention this property," Hayes said when they reported their findings. She tapped her fingers on the table thoughtfully. "What if other species can't do this? What if this is unique to humans?" Over the next 2 months, they discovered more. When bonded with a human operator, Impossibilium could change its properties. It could become flexible or rigid, absorb or deflect energy, all based on the user's thoughts. This is why the Council restricts it, Noah realized. They know what it can do. Hayes made a decision. "I'm initiating Project Aegis. We'll develop protective technology using Impossibilium. Not weapons, armor." In a secure underground facility in Nevada, Noah and Samantha worked with a small team of scientists. They created a thin layer of Impossibilium that could be shaped into body armor. One day, during testing, their lab assistant Joe Freeman put his hand on the material and concentrated. The black surface rippled and then flowed up his arm like living liquid, covering his entire body in seconds. "I can feel it," Joe said, his voice filled with wonder. "It's like it's part of me." Noah approached with a cutting torch. "Let's see how it handles heat." The flame touched Joe's Impossibilium-covered arm. Instead of burning him, the armor absorbed the heat. Joe didn't feel anything. "Try to push the energy back out," Samantha suggested. Joe concentrated, and a burst of heat shot from his palm, melting a hole in the metal table across the room. The 3 scientists stared in shock. "The Council," Noah whispered, "would be terrified if they knew what humans can do with this material." Hayes nodded grimly. "And that's exactly why they can never find out. At least, not until we're ready to show them." Ambassador Lisa Mitchell smoothed her blue suit and practiced her smile before entering the Grand Council chamber. After 2 years as Earth's representative, she had learned that looking confident was half the battle in galactic politics. The chamber buzzed with the voices of 27 species. Lisa took her seat in the observer section, a reminder that humans still weren't considered full members of the Galactic Council. "The Vordax delegation calls for additional restrictions on human expansion," announced the council speaker. a tall being with 4 arms. High Counselor Drav of the Vordax stood. His red scales gleamed under the lights. Humans have established mining operations on Mars, colonies on their moon, and now plan outposts near Jupiter. This rate of expansion is concerning for a developing species. Lisa gripped her datapad tightly. The Vordax had opposed humans at every turn. "We move within our own solar system only," she said when given permission to speak. "The Council agreement allows this." An elderly Xanthari named Eldar Zontal raised a thin blue hand. "While technically correct, Ambassador Mitchell, we worry about human impulsivity. You are like promising children, but children nonetheless. Some guidance is necessary." Lisa fought to keep her expression neutral. The Xanthari always talked down to humans, acting like wise parents to Earth's young civilization. After the session, Lisa sent an encrypted message to Captain Hayes. "Vordax pushing harder. Need progress report on Aegis." The reply came hours later. "Breakthrough imminent. Keep stalling." The next morning, Lisa received another message. "Council scientist requesting Earth visit. Xanthari named Dr. Kelfar. Likely a spy." 2 weeks later, Lisa greeted Dr. Kelfar at the New York spaceport. The Xanthari scientist bowed slightly. "I look forward to our cultural exchange," he said with a smile that didn't reach his large eyes. "Of course," Lisa replied. "Though I'm curious why a quantum physicist is interested in Earth culture." Something flickered across Kelfar's face. "One must have hobbies." Lisa introduced Kelfar to Chief Security Officer Doug Franklin, a broad-shouldered man with a friendly smile and sharp eyes. "Doug will be your guide during your stay. I'll show you everything you're cleared to see," Doug said, emphasizing the last word slightly. For the next week, Doug kept Kelfar busy with tours of public research facilities and cultural landmarks, carefully steering him away from any location connected to Project Aegis. Meanwhile, Lisa worked on building alliances in the Council. The Pelori, a species of bird-like beings with iridescent feathers, had shown the most interest in friendship with humans. Like Earth, they were considered less important by the older Council races. "The Vordax and Xanthari have controlled Council policy for too long," said Pelori representative Kirtel during a private dinner with Lisa. "They classify technologies that could benefit all species, like Exarivium." Lisa asked carefully. Kirtel's feathers ruffled in surprise. "You know of it?" "Yes, exactly like that. The Vordax hoard it, claiming it's too dangerous for lesser species to handle." Lisa sipped her drink, hiding her smile. "What if I told you Earth has found some?" Before Kirtel could respond, Lisa's secure communicator buzzed. It was Doug. "Kelfar slipped away from me at the museum. Security spotted him trying to access records about meteor crashes in North America." Lisa's heart raced. "Find him, Doug. Now." Later that night, Lisa met Doug in a secure room beneath the UN building. "We caught him trying to hack into geological survey data," Doug reported. "He knows something." Lisa paced the room. "The Vordax are pressing for restrictions, and now the Xanthari are spying on us. They suspect we have impossibilium." "What do we do?" Doug asked. "We speed up Project Aegis," Lisa said firmly. "And I strengthen our alliance with the Pelori. We'll need friends when the truth comes out." As she left the building, Lisa looked up at the stars. Somewhere up there, the Council was watching, underestimating humans as always. Soon, they would learn their mistake. Dr. Noah Garcia hadn't slept in 36 hours. His eyes were red, but excitement kept him awake. Beside him, Samantha Wells checked the final calculations on her tablet. "If this works," she whispered, "everything changes." They stood in the testing chamber of the underground Nevada facility. Through reinforced glass, they watched as technicians helped Major Steve Daniels into what looked like a black wetsuit. "The impossibilium layer is only 3 millimeters thick," Noah explained to Captain Hayes, who had flown in to witness the test. "But it should provide more protection than 6 inches of steel." Major Daniels flexed his arms as the suit adjusted to his body. "It feels like a second skin," he said through the speaker, "almost like it's alive." Samantha nodded. "In a way, it is. The material bonds with your brainwaves. Think of it as armor that listens to your thoughts." Hayes stepped forward. "Major, are you ready for the first test?" Daniels nodded, his expression serious. "Ready, Captain." The first tests were basic: knives, then bullets, then lasers. The Aegis armor absorbed or deflected everything without a scratch. Daniels reported feeling only slight pressure, no pain. "Now for the real test," Samantha said, typing commands into her console. A robotic arm in the testing chamber lifted a device that hummed with energy, a plasma cutter that could slice through battleship armor. "This would vaporize conventional armor," Noah explained, his voice tense. The plasma beam struck Daniels directly in the chest. Everyone held their breath. The armor glowed where the beam hit, but Daniels remained standing, unharmed. "I can feel the energy," Daniels reported, sounding surprised. "But it's not hurting me. It's like the suit is, drinking it in." Then something unexpected happened. Daniels jumped, higher than any human should be able to. He reached the ceiling 12 feet up and hung there for a moment before landing softly. "What was that?" Hayes demanded. Noah checked the readings, his eyes wide. The armor absorbed the plasma energy and converted it to kinetic force. It enhanced his strength and reflexes. Later that day, Lieutenant Grace Williams volunteered for the next test. When she put on the armor, something different happened. The black material flowed more smoothly, covering her completely in seconds. "It's responding to her brainwaves differently," Samantha observed. "The bond is stronger." In the testing chamber, Lieutenant Williams closed her eyes, concentrating. The surface of the armor changed from smooth black to a pattern of scales, then back to smooth. "I just thought about changing it," Williams said, amazed. And it happened. More tests revealed that Williams could mentally command the armor to change properties on demand, harder for impacts, more flexible for movement, even altering its appearance. "This goes beyond what we expected," Hayes said as they reviewed the data. "The Council specifically banned armor made from this material." Noah nodded grimly. "Now we know why. In human hands, it's far more powerful than they realized. Or they knew exactly what it could do," Samantha added quietly, "and wanted to make sure we never found out." That evening, as the team celebrated their breakthrough, a security alert sounded. Hayes rushed to the communications room, where Doug Franklin waited with a grim expression. "We have a problem," he said. "Our sensors detected a Vordak scout ship entering the solar system. It's running dark, no official flight plan." Hayes frowned. "They suspect something." "Worse," Doug replied. "They're heading straight for this facility. Someone told them exactly where to look." Hayes thought about the Zintheri scientist who had visited weeks earlier. "Get Ambassador Mitchell on the line," she ordered, "and prepare to move Project Aegis. We're running out of time." As alarms blared throughout the facility, Lieutenant Williams looked down at her hands where small patches of black material still clung to her skin. They moved slightly, as if alive. The Vordaks were coming, but humans were ready with something impossible. Ambassador Lisa Mitchell was in the middle of a meeting with Pelori representative Kirtel when her secure communicator buzzed. The message was short. "Vordaks know. Coming your way." "I must go," Lisa said, standing quickly. "Council emergency." Before she could leave the room, all communication devices chimed with an emergency alert. The council was being called to an immediate session. When Lisa arrived at the chamber, the atmosphere was tense. High Councilor Drav of the Vordak stood at the center platform, his yellow eyes burning with anger. "Earth has violated council law," he announced, his voice booming across the chamber. "They have been working with Class 5 restricted materials. We have proof." On the large screens around the chamber appeared satellite images of the Nevada facility and data intercepted from Project Aegis. Lisa's mind raced. How had they gotten this information? She stepped forward. These accusations are serious. Earth requests time to investigate and respond properly. Drav slammed his scaled fist on the podium. There is no time. Humans are developing weapons that threaten galactic stability. Not weapons, Lisa corrected. Protective technology. The chamber erupted in noise as representatives from all species began talking at once. The four-armed speaker called for order. The Vordax delegation has submitted a formal ultimatum. The speaker announced when quiet returned. Earth must surrender all impossibilium research and materials within 48 Earth hours or face sanctions. Sanctions? Lisa asked. Drav's mouth formed what might have been a smile on a human face. The Vordax peacekeeping fleet has already entered your solar system. For safety purposes only, of course. Back on Earth, Captain Hayes received the news with grim determination. On her command screen, she could see the Vordax warship approaching Earth orbit. It was massive, at least 5 times larger than any human vessel. They're not here to negotiate, she told her team. They want the impossibilium and all our research. Why are they so afraid of us having it? Lieutenant Williams asked. Noah looked up from his data tablet. I think I know. He displayed information on the main screen. I've been analyzing council records we have access to. The Vordax have been collecting impossibilium for centuries. They have the largest stockpile in the galaxy. But they can't use it like we can. Samantha added. They've been hoarding it to keep anyone else from having it. In the council chamber, debate continued. The Zintheri Eldar Zontal spoke with concern. While we agree humans must follow council law, the Vordax response seems excessive. A single warship could devastate Earth's defenses. We act only to protect the galactic order. Drav responded smoothly. Humans are unpredictable. They must learn their place. Lisa stood again. And what exactly is our place, Counselor? To accept whatever scraps of technology and rights you decide to give us. Whispers spread through the chamber at her boldness. You see, Drav pointed at Lisa. Disrespect and defiance. This is why developing species need guidance. Meanwhile, on the USV Horizon, Captain Hayes prepared her ship for potential conflict. The experimental vessel was Earth's most advanced, but it was no match for the Vordax warship. Unless they had an advantage the Vordax didn't know about. Load the Aegis team and equipment, Hayes ordered. Lieutenant Williams, Major Daniels, you're with me. As the Horizon's engines warmed up, Hayes sent a message to Ambassador Mitchell. Stall them. We're bringing a demonstration they won't forget. In the Nevada facility, Lieutenant Williams opened a metal case containing her Aegis armor. The black material seemed to pulse with anticipation. They think they know what we can do, she said quietly to the armor as she prepared to board the Horizon. Let's show them how wrong they are. The Vordax ultimatum had been delivered. Earth had 48 hours to surrender or face destruction. But humans had never been good at surrendering. The lunar colony shimmered under Earth's light. 2,000 people lived in the domed city, the first human settlement beyond their home planet. Scientists, engineers, and their families called it home. None of them expected to become targets. The Vordax warship changed course suddenly, moving away from Earth and toward the moon. Captain Hayes watched from the bridge of the USV Horizon with growing alarm. They're not waiting for their ultimatum to expire, she said. They're going to attack the lunar colony. On her command screen, Ambassador Mitchell's face showed shock. They can't. That's a civilian settlement. They're calling it a limited military action, Hayes replied. A demonstration to show what will happen if we don't surrender the impossibilium. In the council chamber, chaos erupted as the Vordax announced their intentions. Several species protested, but the Vordax ignored them. High Counselor Drav addressed the chamber. We will target only their communications array. No lives will be lost if they don't resist. This is merely a reminder of the consequences of defying council law. He pressed a button on his console. The demonstration begins now. Ambassador Mitchell stood, her face pale with anger. The Council is witnessing an unprovoked attack on civilians. Remember this moment. On the horizon, Captain Hayes made a decision. Lieutenant Williams, Major Daniels, suit up. We're deploying to the lunar colony. Williams and Daniels, along with 4 other soldiers, put on their Aegis armor. The black material flowed over their bodies, responding to their thoughts. The Vordax don't know what we can do, Hayes told them. Let's keep it that way until the last possible moment. The shuttle carrying the Aegis team landed at the lunar colony minutes before the Vordax ship moved into position. Colonists were being evacuated to underground shelters. They're targeting the main communications array, the colony director told Hayes. If we lose it, we can't call for help. Hayes nodded. We'll defend it. Lieutenant Williams led her team to the surface. Through their helmets, they could see the massive Vordax warship hanging in the black sky above them. In the council chamber, all eyes were on the large screens showing the lunar surface. The Vordax had activated a public channel, broadcasting the attack to the entire council. Observe, Drav said with satisfaction. The humans are sending 6 soldiers against our warship. Their bravery is admirable but foolish. The Vordax ship fired its first shot, a bright beam of energy that lit up the lunar sky. It struck directly where Williams and her team stood. Gasps filled the council chamber. The energy beam was powerful enough to vaporize metal. But when the light faded, 6 figures still stood on the lunar surface, completely unarmed. Impossible, Drav whispered, his scales paling. On the moon, Williams felt the Aegis armor absorb the energy of the blast. It tingled across her skin, but caused no pain. Team, spread out, she ordered. Draw their fire away from the colony. The Vordax ship fired again and again. Energy weapons, kinetic projectiles, even experimental gravity weapons, all hit their targets directly. Yet the human soldiers remained standing. In the council chamber, representatives watched in stunned silence. No armor in the known galaxy could withstand such an assault. The Vordax ship launched attack drones next. Williams jumped, impossibly high in the lunar gravity, and caught one with her hands. The Aegis armor enhanced her strength, allowing her to tear the drone apart. Daniels demonstrated another ability, absorbing energy from one attack and redirecting it to destroy 3 incoming drones with a blast from his palm. This isn't possible, Drav hissed. No species can use impossibilium this way. Ambassador Mitchell stood calmly in the center of the chamber. You're wrong, Counselor. Humans can, and we aren't using it as a weapon, but as protection against those who would harm us. As the council watched in amazement, 6 humans in black armor stood undefeated against the might of a Vordax warship. The impossible had become reality. The emergency council session lasted 3 days. Species from across the galaxy argued about what they had witnessed at the lunar colony. The Vordax warship had retreated after failing to harm a single human soldier or damage the colony. Ambassador Lisa Mitchell stood before the full council on the final day. Behind her stood Lieutenant Williams and Major Daniels in their Aegis armor, living proof of what humans could accomplish. For too long, the council has divided species into developed and developing categories, Lisa said. You restricted technologies that could benefit all, claiming it was for safety. But today we ask, safety for whom? The chamber was silent as Lisa continued. The Vordax have hoarded impossibilium for centuries, preventing others from studying it. Why? Because they feared what might happen if species like mine learned its true potential. High Counselor Drav rose to speak, his scales darkened with anger. The humans have created illegal weapons. Not weapons, Dr. Noah Garcia interrupted as he stepped forward. Protection. There is a difference. Noah and Samantha Wells had joined the Earth delegation to present their research. They showed videos of the Aegis armor testing, explaining how humans could mentally bond with impossibilium. Our brainwaves synchronize with the material in a way other species cannot, Samantha explained. This isn't about humans being superior. It's simply a different neural pattern. The Pylori representative, Kirtel, spread his colorful feathers. The Vordax claimed this material was too dangerous for anyone but them to possess. Now we see they lied. They feared losing their advantage. More species joined the discussion. The Zinthari, despite their earlier patronizing attitude, expressed concern about the Vordax attack on civilians. 3 other council races revealed they too had been denied access to impossibilium research. Finally, the council speaker called for a vote. The Vordax delegation is found guilty of unprovoked aggression against Earth's lunar colony, the speaker announced. All Vordax ships must leave Earth's solar system immediately. Drav stormed out of the chamber, his guards following close behind. The speaker continued. Furthermore, the Council recognizes that our classification system needs review. Earth will be granted full Council membership with one condition. Lisa held her breath. The Aegis technology must be shared with other Council species under proper supervision. Captain Hayes stepped forward. Earth agrees with our own condition. The era of hoarding advanced technology ends today. All species deserve the chance to grow and develop. 3 months later, Captain Hayes stood in a large training facility on the Council station. Before her were representatives from 12 different species, all wearing modified versions of the Aegis armor. The armor responds differently to each species, she explained. Some of you will find you can absorb energy better. Others will discover enhanced strength or speed. Lieutenant Williams demonstrated techniques for controlling the armor through thought. To everyone's surprise, the Pelori showed particular skill with the technology, their avian brain patterns creating unique effects. On Earth, Dr. Garcia and Samantha Wells continued their research. One evening, as they worked late in their lab, Noah made a new discovery. The impossibilium can be configured to enhance faster-than-light travel, he told Samantha excitedly. We could potentially reach speeds 10 times faster than current Council technology. Samantha smiled. Another impossible thing for humans to forge. In the Council chamber, Ambassador Mitchell took her seat at the main table, no longer in the observer section. Earth's voice would now be heard equally among the stars. We were underestimated, she wrote in her report to Earth's leaders. They thought we were children playing with powers beyond our understanding. Instead, we showed them that humanity's greatest strength has always been making the impossible possible. As ships from a dozen worlds traveled to Earth to learn the secrets of Aegis technology, the balance of power shifted throughout the galaxy. The age of human isolation was over. The impossible had been forged into reality, and the universe would never be the same.